for inciting attack.
You wanted to keep Adam here, so you lied about the toss.
I've been working my share and yours too. I don't aim to keep on doing that.
I never asked you to. Why I was alone. Why everything went wrong. Why I had hate in me instead of love. There was a black dog riding my back and yours too.
Interesting facts about famous people.
Overlooked westerns, worth another look. Given there are so many westerns, it's understandable that some of these have been overshadowed by bigger or more famous films. Today we will take a look at some of these wonderful, overlooked gems. So grab your popcorn and a beverage, settle into a comfy chair, activate your time machine. If you enjoy this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. If you want to check out my many other videos, head over to my channel. The link is in the description. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel as well. I appreciate it. Let's get into it. Day of the Outlaw, 1959. Director, André Tetot. Blaise Starrett is a rancher, at odds with homesteaders when outlaws hold up the small town. The outlaws are held in check only by their notorious leader, but he is diagnosed with a fatal wound, and the town is a powder keg waiting to blow. For the prom sequence, André Tetot organised everything so that Tina Louise was really surprised. It wasn't just her character. Robert Ryan and Tina Louise had previously co-starred in God's Little Acre, 1958. Stars Robert Ryan, Burl Ives, Tina Louise, Alan Marshall.
All at the peak of their star performances in the down-to-earthiest drama of all. David Nelson, terrific in his first starring role.
You won't turn your men loose, Bruin?
They want to get drunk. They want to have some fun.
You won't let that happen?
They could swallow this town whole and nobody would be alive to tell the tale.
The Naked Dawn, 1955. Director, Edgar Ulmer. In Mexico, at the dawn of the automobile, modern bandit Santiago burglarizes train freight cars and falls in love with a poor farmer's wife. Francois Truffaut cited this film as an inspiration for Jules and Jim. In fact, he even mentions Jules and Jim in his review of this film. Truffaut's film came out 6 years later, shot in 10 days. Loosely adapted from a short story by Maxime Gorky, stars Arthur Kennedy, Betta St. John, Eugene Iglesias, Roy Engel.
He brought the excitement of high adventure and the corroding sickness of greed.
What about the future? If it isn't him, he'll be another like him. They're criminals.
Then kill him and steal his money, because you are respectable.
But to a woman hungry for love, he was freedom. He was escape. But most of all, he was a man.
Get up! Get up! Get out of the way. He isn't fit to live.
Who gave him the gun? Who showed him how to use it?
I did not teach.
The Last Wagon, 1956. Director, Delmer Daves. Accused of murdering 3 of Sheriff Bull Harper's brothers, the Comanche-reared white man, Comanche Todd, is captured and dragged to trial. Cautiously as the 2 men ride across hostile Apache territory, they will join Colonel Norman's wagon train of women and children, only to be ambushed and massacred by the Indians whose families were slaughtered by the whites. Now the few survivors have no other choice but to trust their dubious protector, Todd, as hundreds of vengeful Apaches track them down. Thirsty for blood, can they make it out alive? Stars Richard Widmark, Felicia Farr, Susan Kona, Tommy Rettig.
The Last Wagon. You lived in it, you fought in it, sometimes you died in it.
Law and Order, 1932, director Edward Kahn. Based on the novel St. Johnson, Walter Huston plays the part of lawman Frame Johnson, a fictionalized version of Wyatt Earp, and Russell Hopton plays his brother, Luther Johnson. One of the best early westerns in its character development, Law and Order features a script by John Huston, Walter's soon-to-be famous son. Because of changes made during the film's production, all scenes involving the actress Lois Wilson were cut prior to the film's release. Stars Walter Huston, Harry Carey, Raymond Hatton, Russell Hopton.
Your part, Brad. I own this place. You fellas put your guns away. Leave that money on the table. Don't you do it. Don't reach for that toy, mister. You'll never get that far. Who are you? That's got nothing to do with it. Frame Johnson from Kansas. Put a chew of tobacco on it, mister. Come on, boys.
Apache Drums, 1951. Director Hugo Fregonese. A gambler is thrown out of a western town, but returns when the town is suddenly threatened by a band of marauding Apaches. The scene in which the town, in order to match the Indians chanting and shows that they are just as brave, sing Men of Harlesh in Welsh, was borrowed 13 years later by the film Zulu, directed by Cy Enfield, in which the soldiers match the Zulu native tribes chanting by singing Men of Harlesh, only they sing it in English. Stars Stephen McNally, Colin Gray, Willard Parker, Arthur Shields.
Most romantic, most exciting, best.
Run without a chance.
No, Sam, I won't leave
Please
you.
run.
This is a hard place to defend. Look, the windows are too high. You can't fire out, but they can scale the walls.
Four Faces West, 1948. Director Alfred Green. In New Mexico, a cowpoke forces a banker at gunpoint to give him a loan without collateral in exchange for an IOU, but the marshal and his posse chase after him. One of 30 feature films produced between 1946 and 1948, including several from Enterprise Studios, whose financial failure resulted in their ownership being taken over by Bank of America for non-payment of loans, and subsequently sold to Mundus Television in 1954 for television broadcast at a reported total of $45 million. Stars Joel McRae, Francis D., Charles Bickford, Joseph Kalia. The Wonderful Country, 1959. Director Robert Parrish. An honourable drifter, constantly on the run, finds his enemies closing in around him. Both Henry Fonda and Gregory Peck were first approached to star, but turned down the role when Robert Mitchum came on board. He also served as producer. Tom Lee, who wrote the novel on which the movie is based, has a cameo as the barber who gives Robert Mitchum a shave. Baseball legend Leroy Satchel Page has a cameo as a cavalry sergeant. Stars Robert Mitchum, Julie London, Gary Merrill, Albert Decker. Pursued, 1947. Director Raoul Walsh. A boy haunted by nightmares about the night his entire family was murdered is brought up by a neighbouring family in the 1880s. He falls for his lovely adoptive sister, but his nasty adoptive brother and mysterious uncle want him dead. This is the movie Jim Morrison, lead singer of The Doors, watched on the night he died, July 3, 1971. One of the most obvious Orson Welles' influences on Walsh is the scene where the camera tracks Mitchum and Wright as they ride their buggy through town. This is straight out of Welles's The Magnificent Ambersons. Stars Teresa Wright, Robert Mitchum, Judith Anderson, Dean Jagger.
You wanted to keep Adam here, so you lied about the toss.
I've been working my share and yours too. I don't aim to keep on doing that.
I never asked you to.
Ulzana's Raid, 1972. Director, Robert Aldrich. After fierce war chief Ulzana and a small war party jump the reservation bent on murder and terror, an inexperienced young lieutenant is assigned to track him down. Although technically not credited as such, Burt Lancaster was virtually a producer on the film, helping bring it to screen, taking a percentage instead of an upfront salary, and having a say in the editing stages. Filmed for $1.2 million in only 7 weeks, a good 3 to 4 weeks less than most of Robert Aldrich's movies. Stars Burt Lancaster, Bruce Davison, Jorge Luke, Richard Jekyll.
Like yourself, a white man!
Cut her loose. She's not dead. Why do you suppose they spared Mrs. Reardon?
Maybe they thought she was dead.
Ulzana, leave woman for you to find.
Lad, if they come back, promise me you won't let them take me. Promise me.
From Hell to Texas, 1958. Director Henry Hathaway. After ranch hand Todd Lohman accidentally kills the son of a powerful rancher, he panics and flees, but the rancher and his vengeful crew hunt Todd down. According to myth, Dennis Hopper required 85 takes for one scene, causing director Henry Hathaway to yell at him, "You'll never work in this town again," and that it was 10 years before Hopper obtained another major role. Don Murray, however, has stated that this never occurred, and in fact, Hopper worked steadily through the 1960s, including twice more with Hathaway. The Sons of Katie Elder, 1965, and True Grit, 1969. Stars Don Murray, Diane Varsi, Chill Wills, Dennis Hopper.
Morgan.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check out my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.